internet of value at Ripple, we're thinking much bigger than just cross-border payments. It's kind of like Amazon with rare books in the early days, just this market happens to be a $10 trillion market.
We are at a historic turning point.
Said in the past that you are doing for money what email did for communication.
Moving the whole revolution forward.
Take on it.
There's trillions of dollars parked around the world. XRP.
Is there a possibility that Ripple could take over Swift one day?
Well,
welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of 24 Hours of Crypto. Let's get right into today's video. Take a look at that. XRP got to $1 first, and then it got to $2, and now it's at $3, handsomely hanging out. And then we're going to go to 10, 20, 30, 40, and beyond, all the way to 100, and then anything above $100, let it be. Welcome back. In today's episode, we are going to break down market cap. This is going to be the last time I want to talk about this. In 2025, if you're still saying XRP can't hit $100 because of market cap, you are completely brain dead, full stop. Click off this video because you are not ready. This is going to be my final breakdown of the so-called market cap myth. And after you're done watching this video, you're going to understand it to the fullest T. Don't miss this opportunity. Some people on the internet right now are saying that $3 per XRP is extremely expensive and that we do not understand what market cap is. And it boils my blood. It boils my blood. This has been long in the making and they just don't see it. They just do not see it. Take ACI Worldwide for an example. ACI is working with Ripple. Okay, they have been for a very long time. And you're probably wondering, what's going on? Why aren't we seeing these numbers in XRP, right? ACI told us that they are processing $14 trillion a day. That is different than what JP Morgan said. They're doing $10 trillion a day. And Citibank have told us that they're going to be expecting to see trillions in daily volume. Okay, trillions in daily volume. And they don't need internal tokens because it's useless. And Ripple Swell 2025 coming up. You have individuals from Citi, Ryan Rugg talking. Listen to what she says here. And also take a listen to what Mr. Cunningham says as well from Citibank. Two spokespersons from Citibank. And one video was last year and the other video was 2 years ago. But listen to how they were talking then and look where we are now. This is very important for us to go back and review what was said, doing quality assurance on our work, and to pretty much justify that we were right and we're on the money. And look, Citibank is here. Ryan Rugg is here. The same person that said this, you're going to hear it in a moment. This one's going to have you on the edge of your seat, right? We're going to see trillions in daily volume.
For everybody who has expertise here is that we're truly seeing large organizations do things at a scale which we haven't seen before using this technology. We're truly seeing large organizations do things at a scale which we haven't seen before using this technology. And those who have skills to help empower regular financial market infrastructure and regular players like globally systematically important banks like ourselves to operate in this space. We need your skills and we need your help, and I think we're going to see a massive adoption in the next number of years where this really grows in the regulated space too, which is really exciting. But I think the key thing about all of this is that every element of doing this in a regulated environment takes some time and takes some effort and takes some coordination and takes a lot of work in terms of standards and standard setting as well. So, for me, I'm really excited to see how this tech is going to really massively scale over the next few years into many trillions of volume and scale on a daily basis. Tech is going to really massively scale over the next few years into many trillions of volume and scale on a daily basis. Into many trillions of volume and scale on a daily basis.
Right. Well, it's great that we have this internal token, but our clients don't want a Citi token or another bank token. What they want is cross-bank, cross-border liquidity. So it's key that now that we have the infrastructure of the platform built internally, we work with like Regulated Liability Network and other participants about how do we solve these difficult issues as an industry.
And that video clip right there is just connecting another puzzle piece to it. This is Ryan Rugg, head of digital assets at Citi. Earlier, you guys heard David Cunningham talking about trillions in daily volume from Citi. Do you see how this is all making sense now? And Standard Chartered, they've invested in Ripple back in 2016. They made updates for retail this year saying they're still working with Ripple. But why haven't we seen it in the price of XRP? Because they're not ready yet. And if you think that's delusional, or if that's like a tinfoil myth that we're saying we're not ready yet because there's a bigger plan behind XRP, that's a fact. You know, you not believing us just proves your lack of intelligence and your lack of research. That's all it means, right? And anybody that leaves any kind of negative comment, just please, you're pretty much saying out loud that I did not accumulate enough XRP. I was dumb, and now I'm impatient because you guys have been talking about this for a very long time, but I didn't see the bigger picture, so I kind of stopped accumulating. You've heard the line 1,000 times by now. XRP can't hit $100 because our market cap would be too high. It would be bigger than Apple. It would be bigger than Microsoft. It would be bigger than Bitcoin. Realistically speaking, don't listen to these clowns. Listen to these market experts saying, industry experts telling you how much is going to come into this ecosystem.
A digital assets infrastructure and blockchain will enable that in the context of value transfer and transactioning.
Private asset space is a $290 trillion market around the world. That's bigger than publicly traded securities. That's things like real estate, private equity, VC. And that's, in our view, one of the killer apps for blockchain, because these are operationally intensive assets to issue and manage. They're non-price discoverable, non-transferable, tradable. And when you put those assets natively on chain, you begin to create more liquidity, more tokenization and fractionalization, broader access and availability of those assets.
I mean, depending on whose report you read, it varies between 300 trillion and 700 trillion. It is my firm belief that everything can be tokenized. So it's not just big, it's huge. So it could go, I honestly think the sky's the limit. I truly believe everything can be tokenized. And I think in the beginning, it's going to be, we're going to see a big push for non-liquid assets. So I think there's this correlation between liquidity and tokenization. We'll see that push there. But at some point,
you want to listen to the head of the DTCC, Nadine Charter, one of the most powerful ladies on the planet? Or you want to listen to a clown anonymous on the internet that just gives you ChatGPT threads, right? And you guys may be saying, oh, you're an anon. Well, not for so long, okay? My face reveal will happen when it's ready to do so. Just like Ripple will announce their partnerships when they're ready to do so. And remember, they want to connect everybody together. That is why it's taking so long. Swift told you. Bank of America told you. They're all using the same language. All you have to do is dissect it. All you have to see is what is being said. They're all like, these are the meetings that are taking place.
Interoperability of economies, actually connect more than 200 countries.
And the linking of market infrastructures to explore how it can support interoperability and enable the seamless flow of value.
Understanding the ability to connect the diverse economies, the 200 or so countries in the world.
And these are going to get tokenized, right? Every single time someone says that it can't hit $100, it exposes their intelligence levels instantly. They don't understand the difference between a company's market cap and a utility token's market cap. They don't understand liquidity. Ryan Rugg told you liquidity. The BIS told you liquidity. Swift told you liquidity. They don't understand velocity. They don't understand that market cap in crypto is not a hard ceiling. Okay? It's a mirror of how much more value is flowing through the system. And let me kind of give you like the utility aspect of it and the speculation aspect of it. And this is where we use Bitcoin as an example. Bitcoin's market cap comes from one thing, speculation. And disclaimer, I own Bitcoin. I'm bullish Bitcoin because like I said in the past, I'm a part of a governmental Ponzi scheme that everybody's in on. People buy it, they hold it, and they pray a richer fool buys it higher. That's it. There is no utility, no velocity, just a game of financial musical chairs. XRP's market cap, however, is a reflection of real economic activity. Every single time value moves across RippleNet through tokenized assets, through stablecoins like RLUSD and USDC, XRP is a neutral bridge that provides the liquidity, the demand scales as more money flows into the system. So while Bitcoin is dependent on hype, narratives, and cult leaders like Michael Saylor's pumping, Ponzi style schemes, XRP's valuation is tied directly to global settlement demand, and that's what they wanted to perfect.
Ripple is not an ordinary company. We are not here to make us have a small market share or do X, do Y, and make small amount of money or something to happen. We are here to make a dent in the universe. Either we will change the remittance universe, the way you understand, the way value gets transferred across the world, between people, between institutions, or we will just fade away. So it's almost 0 or 1. And every day we get tens of ideas to say, why don't you do security settlement? Why don't you work in trade finance? Why don't you do X, Y, Z? And what we tell them is, just cross-border remittances is $155 trillion problem. We'll solve this first. We'll make a difference to everybody who's present in this room. And once we have made the difference, then only we will look at something else.
Picture the world's money system like a giant network of pipes, okay? One pipe is dollars. One pipe is euros. One pipe is yen. Then you got tokenized real estate, tokenized treasuries, tokenized stocks, and stablecoins flowing through other pipes. Now, how do those pipes connect? They don't. They're fragmented. You need a central connector pipe, a neutral hub that links them all together. And that connector is XRP. And the more water, the more money that flows through the system, the bigger and stronger the connector has to be. That's what people call market cap. It's not a limit. It's a living reflection of liquidity demand in an asset. So when you look at it from the bigger perspective, you heard them, right? Global payments, anywhere between 150 to 200 trillion. You have the FX market that is surpassing $8 trillion on a daily basis. You have derivatives market, 600 trillion notional. Tokenized assets projected to be 30 trillion by 2030, but it's going to be way higher than that. And then you have a brand new ecosystem, stablecoin, that is going to be like 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 15 trillion in the future. So when XRP captures even a fraction of this liquidity, let's say 1% of the daily FX flows, you're talking tens of billions of dollars daily demand. That level of throughput demands a market cap in the trillions. And that's not speculation, that's math. That's scaling liquidity. So when someone says, but Apple is only 3 trillion, understand they are comparing a single company stock valuation to the plumbing for the entire global economy. That's comical. And that's embarrassing. That's very embarrassing. That's actually, my goodness, I would look away and walk away so fast, I don't even want to give you my time. Okay, because you are completely a moron. And listen, if you get triggered by that, it's like some of you guys say, oh, it's not cool calling people morons. First of all, who are you defending? Are you trying to defend the average idiot? In 2025, if you're not invested in crypto, okay, you are a moron. Everybody has been hustling to be, accumulating. I know many of you guys have messaged me in the past, years ago, side hustling, just accumulate more XRP, and it's paid off handsomely, and it will only pay off more handsomely, okay? And let me drag Bitcoin into this again, because the contrast is important. Michael Saylor's whole strategy is nothing more than a polished Ponzi. Corporations hand him money, he buys Bitcoin, he hands them yield back on the same Bitcoin. That only works as long as new money keeps entering the system.
Right? I mean, that's the engineering. I give you the upside, you have no downside, and I pay you a dividend while you wait to get rich. Okay? Which is...
But you got to understand, Bitcoin is working with blank checks. Bitcoin has no settlement demand. It doesn't scale with global value flows. It just sits there. So when the hype dries up, let's see how that ends up. But meanwhile, you have XRP's demand is built into every system of money movement. Banks, fintechs, tokenized treasuries, stablecoins, they all need liquidity. That's one thing that you cannot turn away from. And that liquidity is XRP. And the BIS documents have showed you that when we enter these markets, these tokenized assets will gravitate to the token with the most liquidity. And this is why comparing Bitcoin's market cap to XRP's potential is not only wrong, it is laughable. And $100 XRP is extremely conservative, right? It is not fantasy. It's going to happen. It's going to happen 100%. 5 trillion, 10 trillion, 15 trillion, 20 trillion, 100%. Do you really think a $5 trillion bridge asset is unrealistic in a world where it's going to be handling hundreds of trillions of settlement value every year? If anything, $100 XRP is the bare minimum for XRP to function at any sort of scalability. So here's my final thoughts before I give you the scaling of XRP system in a very small perspective, and I want you to pause the video and kind of think bigger and look at all the information that you have indulged yourself. I'm only going to give you a little bit. I'm going to give you a very small, just like a rough idea of how it's going to look like, and I want you to see this bigger picture. Okay, I'm not even looking at ETFs that are locked up in this calculation. I'm leaving a lot of calculations out of this. And let me know what you guys think in the comments down below after you're done watching it. At the time of the recording, it was 51 cents. 51 cents, and I'm telling you, they're going to come back to these videos when XRP is a lot higher than $10, and $3 is extremely, extremely, extremely cheap. And please, if you're still screaming market cap like it's a ceiling, you're showing everyone how little you know. So please stop. Market cap for a utility token isn't capped. It expands with the amount of value moving through it. Bitcoin relies on greater fools. XRP relies on global liquidity demand. That's the difference between speculative bubble and the plumbing of the new financial system. So when XRP hits $100, that's all I'm going to say. Let's say if it goes to 500, 1,000, but we know $100 on this channel is going to happen 100%. Since the inception of this channel, I set one target, and that is $100, 100%, because listen, you don't need a lot of money to be happy, okay? You don't need a lot of money to be happy. It's the people that are around you that's more valuable than any kind of money that you could have. So don't say you weren't warned. Okay, the signs were always there. The math was always there. The ignorance was always yours. Okay, just look at it from that perspective. So take a listen to this video. It is monumental. And let me know what you guys think. And we'll be back with another video. Now let's get to this breakdown. I'm so excited to show you guys this because we haven't really done it on this scale. $32 per XRP, $556 billion in total value being moved. You will require 17 billion XRP to be utilized. And I know you guys are going to say XRP settles in 3 to 5 seconds, but what did I just say about banks, corporations holding on to XRP for number of period of days? We have retail holders. We have XRP that could be used for other sorts of yielding, collecting interest. There's a lot of stuff that we're leaving out in today's video, but that information that is being left out is only going to drive the price higher. This is just the tip of the iceberg. So 17 billion XRP being utilized, it's a lot of XRP. This is okay, right? This is sustainable, but it has to scale. You guys heard Nadine talk about 300 to 800 trillion. We have private assets of 200 trillion. The numbers are just out of this world, okay? And now let's add the DTCC, the Treasury Tokenized Asset Hub, right? Let's scale this bad boy to $1.5 trillion in daily volume. And 48.6 billion XRP would be utilized. Right there, ladies and gentlemen, we have a problem. There's only 100 billion XRP. 41 billion is locked up. We have retail holders holding at least 20 billion XRP. Do you think XRP is going to stay at $32 when we reach these levels? Absolutely not. 48 billion XRP, that is a lot, folks. That is why you got fixed supply, you have demand, the price has to go up in order for these bad boys to scale. Now, I'm really going deep in this one so you guys understand. $32 per XRP, now let's scale it to $2.5 trillion. And as you guys could see, I did the math on all of these. If you look at one of the numbers, There is 758 XRP valued at $24,000. There is a 65,000 XRP transaction valued at $2.1 million, right? I went deep with this one just to show you. And in order to do the 2.5 trillion, you're gonna have to utilize 80 billion XRP. Ladies and gentlemen, go ahead and smash that like button, share this video everywhere. Let's get this bad boy on trending if we even can. Let's spread this to the world. This is very logical that you just cannot disagree with. Let's scale it. Let's scale it. I know you guys are all cheering in front of your TV saying, scale it, scale it, scale it. Well, we have $3.5 trillion, folks, in value being moved. You will require 111 billion XRP. And right there, we have the, oh my goodness. You're right. This is not gonna work. $32 XRP is dirt cheap for its real use case. Okay, now let's continue on to the $100 XRP. So you guys could see how this makes sense. We're gonna keep the same number at 3.5 trillion and take a look. Even with this value, $100, you're gonna utilize 35 billion XRP, which is still a lot, of XRP. And guess what? It's only gonna get better because we're gonna scale. $5.5 trillion in value being moved. We know the FX market alone is $7.5 trillion, okay, folks? I'm not getting too deep into value. If you're a beginner, if this is the first video you're watching, go watch my previous videos. There's a lot of stuff that I'm leaving out here in terms of where the value is coming from. But for all the old OG individuals that have been in the blockchain sector for a long time, you guys know this is peanuts. 5.5 trillion total value. We're talking about 55.5 billion XRP being utilized. Ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. This is just math, basic logical math that cannot be argued with. Utilizing 55.5 billion XRP when you're moving $5.5 trillion in value, not just in payments, we're talking about real world tokenized assets, the treasury, carbon credits, healthcare, everything's being tokenized. This is absolutely nothing. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. I want you guys to take it from here and pretty much just see the bigger vision. This is gonna be one of the most iconic moments when it happens, and a lot of people are gonna be disappointed. And like I said, not a lot of people cover this stuff. Not a lot of people even watch this stuff. If we go back to my YouTube channel, look at these views. 12,000, 15,000, 18,000 on good days, right? We have 9,000, 11,000, 10,000. Like I said, you guys are the chosen ones. There's 7 billion people on this planet. And we have about 9,000 of you, 16,000 of you, 18,000 of you coming in and watching these kind of videos because we're wired differently. Okay, like this video right now is very exciting for me to film and to upload, and it takes a certain type of mindset on the other end, the receiver being you guys, to actually sit there and listen to this kind of information. A lot of people find this boring. That is why we have TikTok that does 1-minute clips, Instagram Reels that does 1-minute clips, because they're ruining humanity. They're trying to prevent humanity from being advanced. That's why they're bringing AI. AI is going to be very dangerous. I've talked about ChatGPT. ChatGPT is their secret weapon. They know millions of people are utilizing it. Every single day, we use ChatGPT. We're making that thing stronger and meaner. It is going to think like a human. Every keystroke that we put into ChatGPT, I'm getting the shivers just thinking about it. We're just building a massive intelligent robot that's going to know exactly how humans are going to react. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. You can't make this stuff up. Share this video, smash that like button. It's completely free. And I'll see you guys in the comments below.
They told us dream small, but we had the stars in mind. While they chased hype, we studied time. In the noise we found the signal. Brad knew just what to do. Now XRP hums like jazz, running smooth and true. Money's changing, systems bend, ripple flow into the end. Truth is quiet, bold and deep. We salute the ones who lose no sleep. Salute to the minds that built this chain. Salute, salute through the trials, through the pain. Salute, salute to the calm, to the wise. Salute 100 in our eyes. Bitcoin maxis yell on stage, stuck in loops they call belief, while XRPL just clears the way. No delay, no grief. They hoard coins like dusty gold, but we got utility in every fold. The future ain't loud, it's steady breathing. Real ones know what's worth believing. It ain't hype, it's code and soul. We salute the ones who see the whole. Salute to the builders, to the flow. Salute, salute where the real ones choose to go. Salute, salute to the heart, to the plan. Salute, XRP will lead the land. Value don't lie, and truth don't shake. Let the whole world break, we remake. Strategic reserve, written in stars. XRP gonna take us far. So here's to the signal, clear and bright. To the dreamers who held on tight. No matter the storm, no matter the fight. Salute, we rise with the light.
We started building RippleNet with the thesis that crypto liquidity would eventually be able to support robust global payments, large payments. RippleNet was designed so that customers seeing the benefits of our fiat-based network could flip the switch to ODL once the market was mature enough. And this is exactly what's happening. Flip the switch.
I
think what we're building has, it's solving a real problem. And I think all of the tokens, my advice to anybody would be, understand the utility. If there's real utility and there's real value being delivered to a real customer, there will be value in the token.